Hey everybody, it's Marissa and I'm back with another video. It's been a long time. Usually my videos are about makeup, or I started doing videos with my boyfriend Charles, but this one's different. As you can see by the title, I'm going to be talking about when I found out I was pregnant and how I found out, how I told my mom, how she reacted. So I hope this video can help a lot of girls, and I know a lot of girls can relate to this, and they just need the advice. So, how did it start? Okay. So this happened back in April was when I found out. My baby is now 2 weeks and 4 days old. So in April when I found out, I was late on my period, and usually my period is like right on time. Like it's right on time or the day after. Well, it was 2 days late, and I told Charles, I was like, hey, I started my period, should I take a test? And he was just like, no, you're just worrying yourself, just don't worry about it, your period's gonna come. So I was like, okay. So then 4 days went by and my period still hasn't started, and I was like, okay, so I have to get a test. Like, and in my mind I was thinking like, no, I'm not, I just want a test just so I can like feel better, you know. Well, I went to the Dollar Tree and I got a test. It was like $5, one test in the pack. I came home, I instantly took it. Like I went in the bathroom, I took the test, and literally like after I took the test, like I would say like 20 seconds later, 2 red lines came up clear, like bright red. Usually when people take the test, they say, oh yeah, the line's faint. One line was faint, so I don't know. No, they were both, it was obvious, like it was positive. I threw the test down. I just started crying. Like I didn't know what to do. I was just crying, and my 2 sisters and my brother was home, so I was like, let me stop crying. Like I stopped crying. I went outside in my car and I started crying again, and I called Charles and I was crying and crying, and he was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I took the test. And he was like, oh my god, so it came out positive? And I was like, yes. So he was freaking out. He was just like, what are you gonna do? Like, how are you gonna tell your mom? I don't know how I'm gonna tell my parents. Like this is life changing. Like, you know, we never thought it could happen to us. Well, surprise. So I was just like, let me call you back. I'm gonna try to talk to my mom. Like I don't know how I'm gonna tell her, but I'm gonna text you and I'll let you know. So I ended up coming back inside, and I texted my mom. I was like, hey, my period hasn't started. And she was just like, are you pregnant? The first thing she said. And I was like, I don't know. But I knew I was. Like, it was crazy. So she was like, what do you mean you don't know? You better take a test. I was like, I did. And she was like, and what? So I sent her the test, and she was just like, she thought I was playing. And I was like, no, this isn't a playing matter. Like, I'm pregnant. Like, it's serious. This is... I was still kind of, at this point, like, I was still in denial. Like, I was like, there's no way. Like, this test was $5. This test could be lying to me. I need to know for sure. So I went to CVS, and I got two or three tests for $30, like $25. I came back home. I took them all. 1, 2, 3, took them all. Instantly. Pregnant. It took not even a minute. Like the test said it'll take a few minutes, like 2 to 3 minutes for the results. No, a few seconds to a minute, got the results positive. So I sent my mom the test. I was like, yes, these ones say the same thing. And she was like, she was still, at this point, she was still laughing. She was like, you're playing, like you're not serious. And I was like, Mom, I'm serious. Like, I'm so serious. So she ended up coming back home. She rushed home, and when she got here, she was like, come open the door. I was like terrified. I was scared. Like, honestly, I didn't know how she was gonna act. I didn't know what she was gonna do. Like me, I was thinking I was gonna open the door and she was just gonna hit me, or she was yell at me, like something, like she was gonna smack me, like something, like, but no, she just like started laughing. And I was like, Mom, why are you still laughing? Like I didn't know what to do. Like, she wasn't taking me serious. She was, but I think she was just, she didn't want to believe it. Like, she didn't, you know, like, no, not her baby, you know. So I was like, Mom, it's serious. And she was like, so what are you gonna do? Like, she was like, I don't believe in abortion. I hope you don't. I was like, no, I don't. And she was like, well, I'm not mad at you. You know, I understand it happens. She was very supportive. You know, she wasn't mad. She wasn't disappointed. She was a little, I think she was a little upset just because, like, just because, you know, I don't know. She was a little upset though, but she wasn't mad. You know, she ended up, she was happy. She helped me through everything. So she wasn't mad like I thought she would be. But even after I told her, you know, I still felt like I don't know, like I didn't feel like myself. Like I was upset. Like I was sad. I felt like, I don't know, I just felt really sad. And even though I told my mom and she understood, you know, she was helping me, I just still felt upset. Like I felt like a failure. I felt like I was wrong. But that was for probably a week. I felt that way. But that's how I found out. That's how I told Charles, and that's how I told my mom. And then he told his parents the next day. His parents just, they didn't really, I don't know, they didn't, I don't know how they reacted. I feel like they didn't believe it. They, like, didn't think it was true. He told his parents, and his parents, I think, they didn't believe it at first. But after, they really didn't give a reaction. I don't think, like, I don't know. They just didn't believe it. But, after everything, it all, you know, came together. And now I want to talk about how the pregnancy process was, how I felt during my pregnancy, and how everything, like, turned out to be. Well, the first few months, I really didn't feel any symptoms. No, the first few weeks, I didn't feel any symptoms. But after the first few weeks, everything just went crazy. I wouldn't say I had a hard pregnancy. It was just a lot of stuff went on. Like, I was always throwing up, like, so many foods I could not eat. I got heartburn with a lot of things. In the beginning, I had lost 10 pounds. But throughout the whole pregnancy, I only gained 9 pounds, I believe it was. I really didn't have any big issues. Everything flew by, honestly. Like, at first, I felt like, oh, it's going so slow. But no, it flew by. It went fast. It was crazy. But I got through it, and everyone was very supportive through the way. Like, all my family, all my friends. Well, I don't have friends, but all my family. So now I want to talk about how the labor and delivery went. So, towards the end of the pregnancy, I started dilating, I believe, around, I think it was around 37 or 38 weeks. I think it was 38 weeks. I think it was 38 weeks, somewhere around there. I had started dilating. I was dilated 1 centimeter, then I was dilated 3 centimeters, then I was dilated 4 centimeters. And I had started contractions. My due date was December 12th. I had him December 12th. So I was supposed to get induced December 12th. 3 days before December 12th, I was having contractions. Like, literally 3 days straight contractions, and they were so bad. When I tell you, tossing, turning in the bathtub, hot bathtub every 10 minutes, it was bad. Like, I was having the worst contractions ever, and I got sent home 3 different times. Their monitor wasn't catching my contractions, how my contractions actually were, not even when I was in labor. Their monitor was not working for me. I was moving too much. I just couldn't. So December 10th, I was in the hospital. One of them days, I don't remember. A few days before my due date, I was in the hospital. I thought I was gonna have him. They had me walking around the hospital, walking and walking. I was only 5 centimeters dilated. They ended up sending me home. So I had an appointment that Monday, and my due date was the Wednesday. So that Monday, I had a doctor's appointment, and I went to my doctor's appointment. My doctor was asking me if I wanted to be induced, And I was like, yeah, like, you know, I just wanted, I was ready for him to come. I was ready. So I was like, yeah, I'll get induced if he don't come soon. She was like, so do you want it on Wednesday, which was my due date, or do you want it on Friday, which is 2 days past my due date? I was just like, Wednesday. Might as well. If I'm going to get induced, might as well have him on the due date. Come December 12th, I'm supposed to be induced at 8 o'clock that morning. It's about 7:40, and I'm getting ready to leave the house. And I get a call from the hospital. And they're like, hey, we're going to have to reschedule. We're going to have to cancel your appointment for this morning to get induced. We're going to have to do it later on today. We'll give you a call back letting you know, like, what time. Because we have an emergency C-section that we're going to have to put before you. So I was like, okay. Like, but to mind you, I was having bad contractions. Like, I was in pain. When I tell you in pain, I was in pain. And I don't think anyone was taking me serious. So we were already up. So I was like, it was Charles and my mom and one of my sisters. I was like, but it was originally me and my mom and Charles going to the hospital. But my sister joined us after it got canceled. We went to have breakfast. And I'm sitting there eating, and I'm having the worst contractions ever. I'm sitting there like I want to cry. Like, my head's down. I'm hitting my leg. Like, I'm having contractions. So my mom's like, do you just want to go to the hospital? Do you want to walk around the hospital until they call back? Like, what do you want to do? I was like, okay, we can go to the hospital. We can walk around. So we get to the hospital. I'm like, no, I'm not walking. We're going upstairs. Like, I have to be seen. Like, I feel like I'm in actual labor or something. So we go up there. They have me on the monitor for my contractions, and they're still telling me, like, your contractions aren't strong enough. They're too far apart. No, the monitor was not catching my contractions like I were having them. I was telling them that too, so they would come in here and move them every, like, so often, and I was like, it's not catching every contraction. Like, I'm having contractions, like, regularly. Like, they're coming how active labor is. So whatever, I guess they didn't believe me. I was, I think, 7 centimeters dilated. No, I was still 5, I think. 5 centimeters dilated. It was like 1 something. And they're about to send me home. Like, I knew they were gonna send me home. So they're telling me, we're probably gonna send you home, da da da. So I'm like, whatever. So I was getting up out of the bed, and boom, my water broke. As they were going to send me home, I was like, yes, like, I'm not getting out of this. Like, not again. Not for the 4th time. Y'all aren't sending me home. My water broke. So, thankfully, it came naturally, and I didn't get induced, because I heard that when you get induced, it's way longer. Like, it hurts more because your body's not naturally doing it. So, my water breaks around 1 something. Almost 2. So, I was on the laughing gas, for like 40 minutes, not even. It made me like super, super high. Like, I felt crazy, like, and I was laughing, and it was helping at first. It was helping the contractions. When I tell you these contractions, oh my God, I don't even like thinking about it. These contractions were so bad. I mean, like, bad. And the whole time, like, my mom, the doctors, Charles, like, they're telling me, like, breathe through them. You have to breathe. You can't stop breathing. Like, no, I cannot breathe. I could not breathe. When I tell you, it was so bad. Like, that breathing technique that they think works, that does not work. Like, it does not work at all. I was breathing all kind of ways. I was breathing how they told me. Like, it was not working. It just kept getting worse. Contractions got worse. I stopped taking the laughing gas because it started to make me feel super, like, funny. Like, I was feeling tired. I was just in a bad mood. So I stopped taking it, and I was telling them at this point, like, I want the epidural. Like, I need the epidural. If not, I need the IV medicine, something. They were like, oh, the IV medicine, they were telling me about it. I was like, no, I need the epidural. Like, this is out of hand. Like, it hurts. I need the epidural. So they checked me. I'm now like 9 centimeters dilated, I think. Yeah, about 9 centimeters dilated. They're like, you're almost gonna have the baby. You're about to have the baby. I was like, oh my goodness, good. And this is when it started getting crazy. Like, my contractions were so bad, I started pushing. Like, I couldn't help it. Like, I wasn't trying to push, but every time I got a contraction, my body was pushing, like, and then water kept coming out, like, and I couldn't stop pushing. And they checked me again, and they're like, okay, like, they rushed all the nurses in, my doctor came in, and then we started. When I started pushing, I felt a big relief. Like, the contractions weren't as bad. I felt better. I could talk through my contractions. I could talk through my pushing. Like, I was talking the whole time I was pushing. I pushed for 37 minutes. I started pushing at 7 o'clock. I had him at 7:37. The pushing process was nothing. It was so easy compared to the contractions before the pushing. Oh my goodness, the contractions were so bad. And when I tell you, when I was pushing, the contractions, they hurt, but they were not as bad as before. I had a healthy baby boy. He was 6 pounds 7 ounces. He was born at 7:37 on 12/12/18. He's doing good now. He's super healthy. He's a blessing. I thank God every day. Like, it's just crazy. 2 weeks and I'm already adjusting to everything. He's doing good. He sleeps good at night. Like, I'm super happy. Like, I know everything happens for a reason. And at the beginning of the pregnancy, and when I found out I was pregnant, like, I always questioned it. Like, I was like, why? Like, am I ready for this? I was scared. I didn't know how to act. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to expect. But now that he's here and he's healthy, I'm happy. So if you feel alone, you're not alone. I'm someone that anyone can talk to. Since I went through it, I understand. And, like, I'm not to judge anyone. You just got to stay positive through everything. Even when you feel at your weakest, you feel like giving up, don't give up. It's nothing to be ashamed about. It's nothing to want to give up for. You should be happy. So that's my story. I know it's kind of all over the place. I may have missed a lot of stuff, and when I edit, I'm gonna think it all over, and I'm gonna be like, I should have said this, I should have said that. But for the most part, I did say everything, mostly everything that I wanted to. So yeah, that's my story, and I'm happy to share it with you guys. If you have any questions, comment down below. Thank you guys for watching.